The author likes to listen to Leonard Cohen's music, and I do too. She is agnostic but feels connected to everything when she listens to the music. This book talks about the bittersweet, which is about communion and the sad direction of life. Leonard moved to New York to become a musician, and he was inspired to write a song because he went his separate ways from his girlfriend Marianne at that time. The author, Susan Cain, realized that melancholy isn't temporary. She's also the author of Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking, another great book. Sorrow and longing need to be transformed, or they will lead to neglect or isolation. Hippocrates talked about the 4 temperaments that people have. American culture centers around the sanguine and choleric outlook, which is cheerful and vigorous. People judge themselves for negative emotions. Longing is the gateway to belonging. The author wrote this book to discover why people are drawn to sad music. Our sad emotions are there to connect us. Some babies are born highly sensitive or reactive. People who are depressed or have been depressed are better at seeing other people's viewpoints and at being compassionate. Empaths or highly sensitive types are more likely to like sad music. Compassion has been said to be the mother of sadness. People have difficulty connecting these days, and sadness helps them connect. The author says there are no soulmates because one person can't meet all of our needs, but longing leads to belonging, and it's natural to have such a longing. Yearning comes before romantic love, and romance is just one variation of this longing. Many songs are sad and show longing. Neuroscience has shown that longing returns the body to homeostasis. Music that makes one scared or angry doesn't have positive psychological effects. People love sad music and beautiful stuff, union, and longing to love. Longing appears in sensual love. People feel they are separated from the divine, which is where the longing for love may come from. The author began to understand that religious impulses and music are manifestations of longings. Divine homecoming is a longing. Longing is also a longing to belong to God. Suffering allows people to find themselves deeply. People want something more than a relationship. They want God, since we all have a longing that can't be met by this world. Sacrifice means to make sacred, which is what happened to Jesus. Transitions from adulthood and seasons are considered sacred in many cultures. A considerable percentage of very creative people were orphans during childhood or lost a parent before turning 10. Sadness is the only negative feeling that raises us. Sad moods also improve people's attention. Many creatives are sanguine and happy, and creative people aren't very creative when depressed. High scores and bittersweetness led to creativity. Self-transcendent experiences happen in transient states during loss and connection. Jobs and relationships can be lost, which changes your identity and gives rise to something new if you're ready. The author of this book, Susan Cain, had a difficult relationship with her mom. The author was a great student at school, but couldn't fix her relationship with her mom because her mom was fragile and easily triggered. The mom was happy when the author got accepted to Princeton University, but also anxious about that. The author felt she could only be loved if she stayed a child forever to please her mom. So she decided to establish firm boundaries with her mom so she could be her authentic self, and it took the author a few decades to heal from this relationship. She made peace with her mom before she passed away. The love you've never had or have lost still exists in eternity. Love is an antidote to fear since it makes people open up. America has been viewed as the land of abundance, but it forgets its tragic history. Trauma gets passed down through epigenetics. Calvinism began to subside in the US in the 19th century, but was replaced by business. Success was the holy grail, and guys who weren't successful in business were seen as unfavorable. The New Thought movement was very positive and replaced Calvinism. Even kids had to hide their sadness in the Boy Scouts in 1908. Over 4,000 banks closed in 1929, yet failure was still believed to be personal rather than societal. Today, America is divided between losers and winners. Many college students seem happy on the outside, but not so much on the inside. Many students are in a state of mourning, whether real or symbolic, because they never had supportive parents. Negative emotions get stronger when they're ignored or neglected. Suffering is central to most religions, but not allowed to be shown at work. People accept more suffering than they should. It's a good idea to create a work culture without the tyranny of positivity, because it helps all workers. Mortalism is the belief that people can and should live indefinitely, which means forever. The author went to a life extension conference called RadFest. When it comes to some things, death adds meaning to life and is a blessing in disguise. The author believes that the Mortalism project is delusional, but the lifespan could be extended. Immortality ends the separation between people and is humanistic, as the immortalists believe. People have a hard time with impermanence, which is why they suffer. Surprisingly, older adults suddenly given 20 more years to live make the same choices as young people. People can live with loss and love at the same time. The world wants to return to its spiritual source. There is a lot of miraculous stuff and sacredness around us if we choose to see it. Many manifestations of love appear in music, sports, poetry, and loving another person. Thank you for watching. I hope you were able to discover your bittersweet nature and why it might be a blessing for you.